to bring this back up again. I wish that I was feeling different. I can't pretend I might need more medicine. It's getting worse for the poison sitting in. Out of my mind, cause you told me you love me, I'm waiting to prove. You tipped the scales when you didn't wanna lose it. Thought you knew cause you thought I was guarded. Planting the seeds, but I'm water the garden. I don't wanna believe we said goodbye. At least I gave it a try. Cause I notice I'm afraid to be on my own. I know that it's better than pretending that you're still home. You become a stranger. Don't need to stay for nothing. That's me being honest. You got a taste of my loving, and I got it back. And I remember, yeah, I remember. How could you defend it? Make me a contender, yeah. Even worse is I know that I know better. It's crazy how I lost my way, yeah. Ain't call on a page, start a different chapter. Write out my happy ever after. I'm more than, but more than yeah, yeah. So I can't believe we said goodbye. On my own, cause I know that it's better than pretending that you're still home. You become a stranger, I am no longer afraid. Oh, better than pretending that you're still home. You become a stranger. Don't need to stay for nothing. That's me being honest. You got a taste of my loving.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Our radio.
Mungu akipenda basi siwezi zuiwa. Majaliwa, Mungu akipenda basi siwezi zuiwa. Majaliwa, mahali naelekea lazima nitafika. Majaliwa, leo sipoweza kuna kesho pia. Majaliwa, Mungu akipenda. Majaliwa, na hata wakifunga milango, dirisha zimefunguliwa. Maisha huwa tough in the jungle. Lioness huwa halali njaa. Mama say I should always stay humble. Lily drop all once in my lifetime. Ukanipa another chance cause you love me so. Naomba hii bag nisifambu. The way you save me, mipango yote ya shetani imepanguliwa. With your love and grace, na msosi sikosi nimeandaliwa. So let me make you proud. All the way to stars. Bendera yetu ipepe, ipepe. Majaliwa, Mungu akipenda basi siwezi zuiwa. Majaliwa, mahali naelekea lazima nitafika. Majaliwa, leo sipoweza kuna kesho pia. Majaliwa, Mungu akipenda. Majaliwa,
inua tambla, shukuru saja. Hata kama una mkwanja, shukuru afya. Hine wasi haja give up on the hustle. Hine spam saneskia kuwa champion. Na aim for the top bila rifle. My rival na check from a faki horizon. Na stay on the top kama title. Na eyes on the price bila kuangalia kando. Majaliwa nina shoulder neza lie on. Majaliwa ni Jehovah na rely on. Majaliwa hini ngoma itago viral. In time broke Nairo na kwa charts international.
Majaliwa, Mungu akipenda basi siwezi zuiwa. Majaliwa, mahali naelekea lazima nitafika. Majaliwa, leo isipoweza kuna kesho pia. Majaliwa, Mungu akipenda. Majaliwa.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
This is Hendrix Sam.
Hekima mdomoni mwake na uzuri wake wasambaza kote. Heshima kwake ni msingi, akiipeana apewa kwa wingi. Kusu kusu kusu, wivu na wivu zake ni za kuvutia, lote afanyalo afanyia Mungu, na ukweli ndiyo nguvu yake. Maombi moyoni yamuimarisha, na ujali wa mwingine chake yeye haki, usichana wake hadi wawe chali wa mwingine chake yeye haki, usichana wake manzi wa maana ni manzi wangu, manzi ambaye mwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Ni manzi wangu, manzi ambaye mwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Maana ni manzi wa Mungu, manzi ambaye mwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Ni manzi wa nguvu, manzi ambaye mwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Henry Mutuku ulinifunza maziwa
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
A very good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to officially the biggest conversation in this side of the Sahara, if I do say so myself. It is the Power Morning Drive show time right here on Power Radio. Yes, we tune in and power up. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on this 4th of June. We are now actually smack in the middle of the year. How are those New Year's resolutions going? How are the steps? Have you taken the steps to take the steps? Are you going to the gym as you had said you would? Are you losing weight? If it is weight, you're losing weight you had decided you're gonna do, are you gaining some weight as well? I know that I have a friend who is currently on a weight gain journey, and I'm like, oh, those are good problems. Those are very good problems to be dealing with right now. Yeah, do let me know where the middle of the year is taking you. Are you feeling excited about the remaining half of the year? Are you feeling meh about it? Let me know. And you ask how you can let me know. Not to worry. Kama kawaida, you can get in touch with us on our social media handles. We are Power Radio across socials. P-A-W-A, yes, not P-O-W-E-R. It's P-A-W-A Radio across all social medias. Talk about Instagram, TikTok. We are also on X, Facebook, as well as on our YouTube channel. And please subscribe as well. And also you can find us on our website www.power254.org/power radio. All right. You know me, I'm already at work. So it's only pertinent that I get you to work right now. But before I get you to work, you need to know what the situations on major roads across the city of Nairobi, they say the city under the sun, is looking like. And so let's start off with our day's traffic update. We start off with Thika Road, Kamakawa. It's always madness. And the madness today starts from the area around the Garden City Mall as you go into town. Just a lot of traffic as well happening on that road. I can also say that there's a little bit of a snarl up, actually not a little bit, a lot of traffic as you go into the outer ring road, looking very, very hectic this morning. Same situation also is happening along Kiambu Road. Jam imeshikana bumper to bumper from DCI all the way into town as well. I can also see that Limuru Road is looking quite busy from Village Market all the way down towards Karura. Same situation also happening along Lower Kabete Road. As usual, the traffic starts at Zen Garden into the Spring Valley Police Station and spills over just a little bit into Westlands as well. Nothing much to complain about Wanyoike Way. It's actually looking quite okay this morning. There's only a little bit of a snarl up as you go into ABC Place, Nairobi, but it soon clears out after that. Let me see what is happening along James Gishuru Road. James Gishuru Road is also looking quite busy this morning. Especially as you go into the area around, what is this? The area as you go from Wanyoike Way, the larger Wanyoike Way, it's just a little bit of a snarl up, but nothing much to complain about. At least it is slowly but surely moving. Naivasha Road pia kuko na kamsongamano kidogo tu pale, especially as you go from Riruta into the Junction Mall, which inena kushikana na traffic hapo hivyo Ngong Road all the way towards Prestige Plaza. A lot of traffic happening along that road as well. Langata Road is also looking quite busy this morning. Traffic actually happens in pockets all the way from Galleria Mall into Uhuru Gardens. Also resultantly also spills over towards that area as you go towards the Timol roundabout, and incidentally also Raila Odinga with just a little bit of a snarl up there as you go towards the Strathmore Ngumo area, but soon clears out after that as well. Let's see what is happening on the Mombasa Road. There's not much of traffic this morning. There's just a little bit of a snarl up from Capital Center as you go towards the Nairobi West Hospital. Jogoo Road, Kamakawa, Madness, Feather Estate, that road, the Outer Ring Road on the other side as you go towards Embakasi, a lot of traffic. Also the Eastern Bypass, especially as you go towards Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, is also looking very busy this morning. Right. I think that's it. Jogoo Road, did I mention? Yes, there's a lot of traffic, especially as you go into Nairobi City Stadium and also the stretch that leads towards Gikomba Market as well. All right. That's a little bit of what is happening on our roads this morning. Let me get a quick breather. When we come back, we get into what has been making headlines, and it's quite a lot that has been making, a lot of the rounds here. And then I'll tell you what we are discussing today soon after we are done with our news roundup. Keep it Power Radio.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
They call me Chris to the cantata. That's why they call me. Huni nani ji, huni kantai hajali ji, huni mtu mkali ji, tuliza moto kufani ji. That's why they call me. Huni nani ji, huni kantai hajali ji, huni mtu mkali ji, tuliza moto kufani ji. Yo, they say it's hard to compose a rhyme. I say you out of your mind or you full of lies. Then again, you could be the slow kind. I don't see how lyrics don't hypnotize. Why lie? The season has transformed. You got reason to be bored, so now you want more? I'ma serve you flavor that you can't afford. The bill about to get placed on your tempo. So don't even try to resist. Look at yourself bumping to the beat. Get up and get down with a G-twist. Forget the hater cause the fool's not on the list. Dig this, we came and we took over. Got the keys to the ride and we're not sober. We made an oath that we ain't gonna ride for you. So now it's hip-hop, ride us to the border. Huni nani ji, huni kantai hajali ji, huni mtu mkali ji, tuliza moto kufani ji. That's why they call me. Huni nani ji, huni kantai kantai hajali G. Huu ni mtu mkali G. Tuliza moto kufani G. They taking over my head, dog. They on a hustle. I'm taking over their bread, dog. I'm on a muscle. Try to be cool, but I gotta mumble. Better yet, after that, there's a big tussle. Quit them tears, boy. Dry your eyes, see the G going cheers, boy. Don't be mad, cause I say that you weird, boy. You kinda scared, so I see that fear, boy. Meditating on a cute shorty. Lean body, mean thighs like the chick bought it. I said real tight like they all assorted. If she arrested my ass, then she got a warrant. I'm a legend in the living, and that's that. I grab objects of vices you can't touch. Read all comprehension is too much. Unawares is words that bring the wrath. Let's go. Huni nani G, huni kantai hajali G, huni mtu mkali G, tuliza moto kufani G. Huni nani G, huni kantai hajali G, huni mtu mkali G, tuliza moto kufani G. Glad that you stopped by. Who are you? What's your business? Bye bye. I hate people that think that I'm on the rise. Yet and still I'm the steel that will not fly. Ask why? I got this even better. On this planet I teach you before the chatter. What I compose gets better by the day's weather. That's why they call me Chris to the cantata. Huni nani G, huni kantai hajali G, huni mtu mkali G, tuliza moto kufani G. Huni nani G, huni kantai hajali G, huni mtu mkali G, tuliza moto kufani G. Yo, yo, yo. That's why they call me. They call me Chris through the cantata.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Pressure, ona vile inatupeleka. Pesa, ukikosa leo unakesha na kuna kesho. Tulia kidogo, ganga ya leo, na ukinge moyo wako, moyo wako. We've made it this far, we're gonna be okay. With wonderful scars that help us find our way. And when it gets dark and you cannot feel my faith, pick up the guitar and sing a song again. Wanyoike, timgi machunyi dwaro, 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 kungena mungeyo. Kima kinyo pango, ni cage we ran away from misery. We had to pay for it dearly. Tutachelewa, lakini ndoto zetu hatutachorea. We've made it this far, we're gonna be okay. With wonderful scars that help us find our way. And when it gets dark and you cannot feel my pain, pick up your guitar and sing our song again.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
I'm falling, I'm falling. Sugar daddy. And the storyteller, yeah.
So fresh is on the beat.
Being a friend has never been good enough for me. That's not where I wanna be in your life, your life. Is there a day that I'll be good enough for you? Hiyo siku ikifika niambie. Oh, is this how it feels when you fall in love? Is this how it feels when you fall in love? If I have one wish tonight, I wish you feel the same. 'Cause I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling for you. Look at me falling, I'm falling, I'm falling for you. Oh Lord, falling. Oh baby, I'm falling. Pick up the phone, I'm calling. See the trouble you be causing. I'm at your door when I'm knocking. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't you wanna be more than a friend? Baby girl, you know you be 10 over 10. I know you want me, let's not pretend. Just tomorrow isn't promised. Baby, let's be honest. Yeah. Baby, let me mend your broken heart. Baby, let me love you if tomorrow is the last day I get to see your face. What we gonna do? Boo, 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 my boo, boo. 'Cause baby, I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling for you. Look at me falling, I'm falling, I'm falling for you. 'Cause baby, I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling. Look at me falling, I'm falling, I'm falling for you. Is this how it feels when you fall in love? Is this how it feels when you fall in love? Is this how it feels when you fall in love? Gravity is pulling me down. It feels, baby, I'm falling for you.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
All right, welcome back. That is Sedo alongside Nyashinsky, and it is playing right here on Power Radio. You are tuning in and powering up. So let me know from wherever it is that you're tuning in and powering up from. Yes, and let's get into it. Let's get into our conversation this morning. Of course, the dailies, a lot has been happening because we live in Kenya, and living in Kenya means that there's a lot going on as well. So let's see what is happening on the Standard newspaper. The cover page of the Standard newspaper says state impunity. A story here about Rose Njeri, who is accusing the state of weaponizing cybercrime laws to silence digital activism and public participation. All eyes are on the judiciary on June 20th to see where hacking starts and dissent stops. That's a story that has been captured there by the Standard newspaper. And of course, it's a story that we will touch on a little bit into this conversation. It has also been highlighted on the Daily Nation as well. It's a story that also continues on the Daily Nation. And this continuous clampdown on our rights. I think I was listening to BN and he said that yes, you guys purport that we have freedom of expression, but we do not have freedom after we have expressed ourselves. So this is a conversation that we definitely need to pick up for sure. But so let's see what the Standard actually says on page 4 of this Rose Njeri issue. So lawyers yesterday fought off the charge brought against Rose Njeri, terming it fictitious as they poked holes in the plan to pin her down using provisions of the Cybercrimes Act. In the end, Njeri did not take a plea as her legal team battled the charge brought by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, raising fresh questions over whether the state is weaponizing the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act to stifle civic participation and digital activism, right? And of course, you would know that she was released on a bail of 100,000 Kenya shillings. But the thing that I want us to talk about here is the continuous clampdown on the freedom of expression, and what really is the matter there. I do not see the problem with somebody deciding to use her expertise, her knowledge to educate Kenyans about the impending danger of the finance bill. And so, a lot of activists actually have come out, human rights organizations have also come out to declare that she needed to be released with immediate effect. Of course, Kenyans did also come out to say that they need to release her. It was we saw at the Milimani courts, law courts yesterday, activists protesting against the unlawful. It was very unlawful. I think was former Chief Justice David Maraga was the one who was able to say that that was study because of using her platform to educate Kenyans and to educate the public about what exactly, issues of the finance bill as well. So it's also unlawful for her to even be demanded to be to make sure that she pays her end of the bail, which is 100,000 Kenya shillings, because in the first place, she was not supposed to be held into custody. There's nothing wrong about having a platform. There's absolutely nothing wrong about using your platform to educate the greater masses. And so I think this is something that we shall continue seeing more and more and more of. But I hope that we can get to go on the other side of it and kind of really just figure out a way of not having to deal with such issues, because it's 2024, guys. Let's stop this very retrogressive crackdowns and clampdowns that we keep getting ourselves into. It's outdated. It's outdated, and it's unconstitutional for sure. Like that's not something that we should be thinking about right now as well. Right. Then on top of the Standard newspaper, there's also a story that has been highlighted on Nancy Macharia leaves TSC after 10 years at helm, a story that continues on page 11 as well. Then there's a story about the party launch problems for Gachagua. He's slated to now officially launch the DCP party. It's a story that continues there on page 10 as well. All right, let's see. On the cover page of the Daily Nation, swindle some unmasked faces in home buying scams. The evil Kenyans in diaspora in particular are being lured into property investments back home, only to later discover they sunk millions into bogus schemes. More depressing is the plight of retiring workers who believed they were investing in posh retirement homes, only to find stalled structures in thickets. This is a story that also continues on page 2 and 3 of the Daily Nation. Of course, there's a story there about the housing levy, why funds will build schools, markets, a story that continues on page 8 And finally, there's a story there again about the end of an era at the Teacher Service Commission, which is Dr. Masharia, who exits the TSC after 10 years of serving as well. So those are some of the major stories this morning on the dailies. If you want to grab some of those stories and go in depth, you can do so and get your copies of the Daily Nation, the Standard. There's also the Business Daily, which, let me just highlight something here. What is talked about on the cover page. There's a story about most African countries have their own currencies, yet many have economies smaller than that of the 10 Mount Kenya counties. That's a story on page 9 of the Business Daily. Equity lobbies DRC against forced sale of 30% stake. We also have a story on former Scan Group CEO Bharat blow in 4.5 billion Kenya shillings spacesuit. And last but not least, how French threats forced Kenya to pay 6.2 billion for failed road. Okay, that leads us to the end of our dailies, just at a glance. When we come back today, we are joined by the one and only Esther Wavinya. She's a development and gender expert. And we shall be looking at the Africa and West collaboration and cooperation, and what is it, what's in it for the African bloc. Now, the backdrop of this is over the past, I think, a month or so, we have seen the flooding of a lot of international leaders. For example, the Finnish president was here, Alexander Stubb. We also saw Slovenia's president during the Madaraka celebrations. Also, she was here as well, and she did give some claims about where Kenya is supposed to go in terms of Slovenia's as well as Kenya's relations as well. There's been a lot of conversations and negotiations within the Africa region, and so we shall be looking at what does that mean for the African continent in terms of development partnerships. And like, for example, when the Finnish president came, he said that Kenya has a very pivotal role to play in the New World Order, which everybody seems to think that Africa is the New World Order, given that by 2030, the biggest population of young people, which is the best resource, was going to come from the continent. So we should have conversations about the Southwest cooperation and what's in it for the African continent. So let's take a quick breather. When we come back, we get into that conversation with Miss Wavinya. See you in a bit.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Niko na visa, niko kwa simu na nasikia bashi meshika. Je, kuna madem, kuna maniga, maodine wamekuja kuchachisha. Ninajificha, sitaki picha, kubabae, sitaki vita. Nashikisha na mavela mabichwa, na tukishikwa jo mabel Mona Lisa. Tutoke BND, twende BNB, niko DND. Usijam, I will be RB, I will be RB.
Mihadarati zishaanza kunidanganya hadi najishuku sana. Zimelipu, zimenichanganya napenda vitu si ufanya vile inafaa. Erobog na matin. Eyo naka. wako na mado, wenye vipindi na musonge kando. Esima tu sama boso chopo, chololo, chololo. Nobody can party like we do. Wamoke girumba ko kwarawe blues. Kinena kalingi kipani ya sim. Meditation yaka bed ni soya design bololo. Anebo che bololo. So please no. Okadwa jo machendo oh bololo. Anebo che bololo. So please no. Okadwa jo machendo oh. We had our decisions kunidanganya hadi najishuku sana. Zimelipu zimenichanganya napenda vitu si ufanya.
Miadarati zishaanza kunidanganya hadi najishuku sana. Zimelimbu Maximus. Hey, and na.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
BNB, Nico DND.
Mutoto ya Pamela.
I'll be right back. Tell him I'll be woo.
Trips and young romances, breakups and second chances. Our rhythm steers through all these years. If love is a drum, you are my drummer. I'll dance to your beat only forever. If love is a drum, you are my drummer. I'll dance to your beat. My sukuti love, is it good for me? Is it good for me? My sukuti love, is it good for me? Is it good for me? Ringing the one ding ding, then the boom boom boom, adding my nyatiti, then it's me and you. My sukuti love. Stolen glances, oceans and wedding marches. Our music plays through all these days. If love is a drum, you are my drummer. I'll dance to your beat only forever. If love is a drum, you are my drummer. I'll dance to your beat. My sukuti love, is it good for me? Is it good for me? My sukuti love, is it good for me? Is it good for me? Ringing the one ding ding, then the boom boom boom, adding my nyatiti, then it's me and you. My sukuti love.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Hey, hello. You look familiar, have I made up with you before? Let's just be serious, kabla uanze tukunipo. Nionyeshe Insta labda nitakukumbuka hivyo. Oh, hey, hello. Sikuamini lakini ni kama nimeona ghost. Miezi mbili ndio maana siwezi pita kino. Na tangu lini ukaanza kuwa na story mob? Lakini walai siwezi mind tukienda drinks. Walai na beshte yangu bado takumit. Walai ni wapi ulienda for real? For real. Lakini walai siwezi mind tukienda drinks. Walai na beshte yangu bado takumit. Walai ni wapi ulienda for real? For real. Hey, my heart is there, my pride is there. Don't play, don't even dare. You don't play fair, so hey, there's something here, there's something there. Overlaid, it's like a different kind of weather. Hey, my heart is there, my pride is there. Don't play, don't even dare. You don't play fair, so hey, there's something here, there's something there. Overlaid, it's like a different kind of weather. Lakini walai siwezi mind tukienda drinks. Walai na beshte yangu bado takumit. Walai ni wapi ulienda for real? For real. Lakini walai siwezi mind tukienda drinks. Walai na beshte yangu bado takumit. Walai ni wapi ulienda for real? For real. Lakini walai siwezi mind tukienda drinks. Walai na beshte yangu bado takumit. Walai ni wapi ulienda for real? For real. Lakini walai siwezi mind tukienda drinks. Walai na beshte yangu bado takumit. Walai ni wapi ulienda for real? For real. Go fit, Allah, go fresh, Allah. Lakin, bana, din west, bana. Go fit, Allah, go fresh, Allah. Lakin, bana, din west, bana.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Ulabongo kakose pupeni.
malala ongamazwe awundi jonge mehleni. Come here my love, come here my love, please don't be so far tonight. Come here my love, 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 don't be so far tonight. Come here my love, 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 don't be so far
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
That is Polaris playing right here on Power Radio. This is a Power Morning Drive show. My name is Wanyoike, and remember, you can get in touch with us on our social media handles. We are Power Radio across all socials, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, you will find us there. You can also find us on our website, www.power254.org/Power Radio. And because I'm not your government, I promise and I deliver. I did promise you that my guest will be in our studio shortly, and she is here. And I'm so excited. I let her introduce herself, but let me just give you a brief rundown of what you should be expecting on today's conversation. Today, we are going to be looking at Southwest Cooperation. What's in it for the development of Africa? And who better to have this conversation than a person who breathes this conversation, Manze? Like, it's so good to see you. Miss Wavinya S is in the studio. Yes. You can introduce yourself, let the people know who you are, how you're doing, what you're about. Yes, and then we can get into it.
Okay, my name is Wavinya Makai.
Yeah.
I'm a Pan-Africanist by blood. I have studied development issues,
Yes.
and I understand what development is, what underdevelopment is not, and I approach it from a philosophical perspective.
Yeah.
And I hope this conversation will keep us awake.
Yeah, keep us awake. And I know you are also very passionate about educating the masses. You know, you want, I think I saw something on your status, I think last week, you said that you are interested right now in talking to people who want to move and want to, like people who get it and want to move and push this narrative and continue in the fight for the, I guess, liberation of Africa, whether economically, whether politically, in all aspects of this conversation. And why I thought of having this conversation and specifically with you is it was triggered by the visit of the Finnish president that just concluded. I think he was here 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, Alexander Stubb. And in his speech, he had a lot to say about, you know, the new world order, as it were, and Kenya's role in that conversation. So let's listen into some of what he was able to say, and then we can get into this conversation as well.
William and I had the opportunity to first have bilateral discussions where we were able to deal with a broad range of issues, whether global, regional, or bilateral. We also talked about the big shifts that we're seeing worldwide in democracy in today's world. We talked about NGOs and the importance of their role in society. We have to remember that democracy is something that you not only have to protect, but you have to work at all times. And I think William and I share that goal. And we feel very strongly that working towards more liberal democratic societies where the rule of law is the basis and foundation, where human rights are at the center of whatever we do, is the best way to push the dossier forward. And this is something that William and I not only discussed, but share.
Right. So you've heard. Yeah, from his sentiments, the conversation is that, first of all, contextualize for us, what does it mean when these leaders keep saying that Africa is the new world order? Everybody is looking south. Kenya has a very big role to play in this delivering of this new world order. What does that even mean? Should we be excited? Should we be worried? What do we do?
I think this is the time we critically analyze anything that is said about Africa, because we should not forget history.
Yes.
When you look at history, let's go back to 1884, 1885, when the scramble of Africa happened. It is very sad to realize up to date, 2025, the scramble and petition of Africa is happening. But this time round, without guns, without machetes, without bullets, it's going directly to the economy.
Right.
So what I can say is we should be very skeptical and also very critical in analyzing what is behind what is spoken to the public, what is being signed. Because currently, as a development scholar, I'm researching deeply to understand the persistent underdevelopment of this continent beside the brouhaha, the everything that everybody is talking. Africa is rising. Africa has not been spoken about rising now. They started speaking in the 60s, in the 70s. And when you go back to history in the 70s, Africa was actually about to rise. They introduced new international economic order that was proposed by Pan-Africanists like Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, and the rest. But the world refused to adopt that.
Right.
So they took us back to 1980, whereby they gave us the structural adjustment programs. And in the structural adjustment programs, there were so many conditions. And one of the conditions was to change our education system. That's 1985, that's when we got 844. So everything that comes from the Western world, because of research, because of what history has taught us, we should not just accept it as the truth.
Right.
We should now start seeing everything from an African lens. What does this proposal mean to Africa? What does democracy, because, democracy has been used for a very long time, but whose democracy are we advancing? Those are the questions that we need to ask. And we need to learn how to critically analyze everything. Because that was taken away from our education system. It is not that everybody who did 844 system was not able to critically analyze. We were just crammers. It was about rote learning. And with that, we don't even understand what is democracy. What does it mean to our economic liberation? Currently, we are fighting for economic liberation. People like Tamala Sylvia spoke about us only getting flag independence. So now we are currently working on ensuring that we get economic independence. And we cannot get economic independence if we don't understand what is going on. If we are just blinded by the Western analogies about what Africa is doing. And also another thing that is really failing us is we believe in an angel. We want an angel to come and save us. And that angel, because we were taught an angel is supposed to be a white person, we are expecting the white to come. Every time you look at social media, people are saying, white people, come and save us. America, come and save us. And that is what is ailing us. They are not saving us. They are actually extracting from us. They're exploiting from us. That's why we see a youthful society that has been shunned to accept mediocre jobs. Like our division of labor does not speak to the ambitions that is perpetuated by the young generation. And if we don't act now, this thing is gonna spiral to something that we cannot control. So it's better we start working now. It's better we stop allowing other foreigners to come and control our agenda. Let it be a Kenyan agenda, a Pan-African agenda, and echoing the words of Kwame Nkrumah, we must unite, because it's only in unity that we will be able to sort what is going on.
All right.
Yeah.
Rodney wrote a book. It's called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. And, after reading that book, I think I must have been in campus or something like that. I remember thinking to myself, there's nothing as equal negotiations or being equitable negotiation at the table when Africa and, for example, the West is negotiating. Why? Because we are our raw materials. They use our raw materials. So if anything, we should be on the upper hand. So there's no 50-50 here. Maybe we should be talking about a 30% kind of negotiation, with Africa taking the ownership and the sovereignty over these negotiations, because after all, we couldn't we would not be having these economical superpowers if it were not for the raw materials that they exploited from Africa. What do you make of that sentiment? Am I completely off to think that? Is it naive? Because I'm not a development expert, but I keep saying there's nothing like equal negotiation here. We are the ones who determine whether you guys are a superpower or not.
Exactly. Actually, what you're saying is very true. And I from a scholarly perspective, first, I want to ensure that you don't use words like naive, words like radical.
Yes.
Who decides
what is extreme?
What is extreme?
Yeah.
They use words to ensure that they conquer us. They use words to ensure that we are afraid, because you find other people will tell you, don't use colonization, don't use decolonization. Who decides when to use such words? So don't say it's a naive thought. It's actually the reality. Not only has Walter Rodney talked about how Europe underdeveloped Africa, and when he was writing his book, it was in the 80s. And then Ali Mazrui supported it by studying the African conditionality, and other people like Thandika Mkandawiri, they talked about political economy of Africa and how the structural adjustment programs are taking away from us. It's an extractive economy. People like Madlitso Firi, also new scholars that are coming up, they've written about modern coloniality.
Right.
And we need to start reading. We need to start interrogating what is out there, because research is very important. And unfortunately, as an African continent, we rarely fund research. When you look at the Western policy papers and their plan, you find that they put a policy plan that goes up to 100 years from now.
Right.
And in their policy plan, they have many, many, many policy plans. And Africa is among their plans. And what they plan for Africa is they want us to be a cheap source of raw material. They need us to give them raw material so that they can advance. Now, currently, we are talking about the fourth industrial revolution. That is the AI, the tech world, and everything. But when you look at Africa, what position are we in when it comes to industrial revolution? I will say without fear or favor, we are still trying to grasp the first industrial revolution because we are still using crude methods of agriculture. We are still, we have a lot of arable land that can be used to generate income. We are not using it. We are more of consumers than creators, than we get to have entrepreneurship as a unit, not as a mindset. And these are the things that are ailing this continent.
Right.
And we don't see it. We don't see it because we are always looking for a savior.
Yeah.
The savior that we're looking for is someone who is currently taking away from us. Look at Congo. What is happening in Congo?
Oh my God.
Here in Kenya, there's a time we had, during Kibaki's time, I was still in high school, we heard that the Silicon City is coming. what happened to it? Do we research to know what actually acts as barriers to having this development happening?
Yes.
We've had that we had oil in Turkana. Who are the key figures
Custodians
behind
Yeah.
the oil
Yeah.
and everything in Africa? So those are the questions that we need to interrogate, and we need to have researchers play a key role in ensuring that we actually develop, because every other developed nation, they work with researchers. The work of research consultants is to ensure that they get the right remedies for what is ailing the country. And if you don't listen to researchers, if you don't listen to people who actually try to help this continent, it means that we will still be taking whatever the West has decided. Because a lot of leaders, they don't actually read. They don't even interrogate with researchers. And if they read, they'll just read how to be a leader and everything.
Yeah.
But they don't understand what's ailing the society.
Right.
They don't understand what is needed to get out of this. So they keep on signing one treaty. They keep on being summoned to these countries. How do you summon 54 presidents to a country
In an Africa, China
Italy? Yeah. Do you know
get
what
it.
that means?
Summit.
That means that they're taking tourism to the next level.
Right.
A president travels with a big entourage.
Yeah.
So it means that we are going to feed into their hospitality industry. They will have the hotels taken care of.
More
And remember,
revenue for them.
hotels, presidents don't just go to any hotel.
Yes.
They go to hotels that are premium. So can you imagine the amount of money they make?
A lot.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
That's why they keep on saying we need an
Millions.
African summit.
Yes.
Why can't we turn those
Summits
summits
back home.
back home?
Yeah.
We decide we're going to Lesotho. We are going to go to Zambia. We are going to go to
Namibia.
We are going to go to the western part of Africa, the northern part of Africa, the central part of Africa.
Right.
So that we can also have our hospitality industry fed by this presidential summits. So I don't. It's a long scam game that we are going
being
through,
played.
yeah.
Yeah. And, we cannot talk about trade, whether it's bilateral trade, unilateral trade, multilateral trade, partnerships on the continent of Africa without talking about the people, right?
Yes.
And I'm also taken aback to the historical context of how African people were seen. For example, during the transatlantic trade, it was slavery because people were looked as raw materials to be able, who would now be the product and essentially give free labor for their markets and whatnot. Now, come to the contemporary society. In 2025, we are talking about young people being the holy grail of the African continent. And mind you, I cringe every time I hear a white person say that, we need to invest in the future of young people on the continent of Africa because guess what? By 2030, they are going to be the biggest population, that the biggest... So there's this narrative clash or not even narrative clash. Actually, there is this narrative synergy of looking at young people as marketplaces, looking at the African continent as a marketplace as well. So when we talk about the young economy, the youth economy, we look at our governments and they're doing absolutely nothing to tap into that kind of, the wealth that we have, the manpower that we have. What are you able to pick up and what are you able to read in between the lines when we talk about young people? It's the time for us to invest in young people as far as African development is concerned.
Yeah, actually, the young people are being used to perpetrate a narrative, which is really sad. And when you look at it, you find that all our elites have been captured. Most of them have been captured to a system that is designed to underdevelop us. And some don't realize. And those who realize are really scared because historically, you've seen what has happened to anybody who's tried to bring and breathe the Pan-African dream.
Yes.
We've seen Kwame Nkrumah Kwame Nkrumah was not assassinated, but he was actually ousted through a coup. We've seen people like Patrice Lumumba. We've seen people like Thomas Sankara. And we're currently seeing how people are supporting the Burkina Faso president.
Yes.
And when you look at it, the African elites, the leaders, the thinkers, they're not speaking about him because they are scared. You know, once you show a people that if you support a Pan-African dream, we're going to oust you, we're going to decompose you, then it brings a lot of fear. So there's a lot of fear in the continent. But I know within, all these leaders are applauding what the Burkina Faso president is doing. And that's, a lot of people are questioning democracy. But if democracy since 1970s, 1980s, and currently 2025 is not helping us to develop, then we go back to ask, whose democracy are we
propelling?
Propelling. Whose democracy is it that we're channeling out there in our economy, in our politics, in our education? So we are currently facing a huge number of youth unemployment because no one thought by year 2025 we will have all these educated youths.
Right.
And it's even very sad that we see our educated youth, some are going Middle East to do manual labor. So it means that slavery has never ended. It's just changed the design. Now people are going to these countries, in the Middle East countries, willingly. People with degrees, people with masters are doing caregiving job in the Western world, in the UK. And that is something that we should start asking. What are we doing to our generation?
Right.
What are we doing to our people? We are the same color. And if we don't understand when W. Du Bois used to tell us about the color line, then we need to start seeing what it means for us to be entangled in an empire, race, and coloniality that does not really make sense. Also, another story that really hurt me very much is our girls. Our girls are being used as surrogates in countries like Georgia. Some of them made it back.
Right.
Some of them are just carrying wombs. We are not even protecting our wombs. They are doing the surrogacy work in Georgia. But who asks what happens to the babies?
What happens to the babies?
This
is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Yes, it is there. People, it's there. It's in the social media. In Instagram, you'll find it. In YouTube, you'll find it. But the media, the African media has not picked the story, especially the Kenyan media, because it is Kenyans who are elite Kenyans who are taking these girls because of profit.
Wow.
What happened to people-centric initiative? And those girls, they're telling the stories. Some managed to get out. We need to see what we're doing to our people. And history will really judge us very badly because a lot of things are happening and we're very complicit
about it.
We don't care. So we need to interrogate. We need to know what is happening. In Georgia, I have not seen any media station highlighting what is happening because maybe someone is benefiting from this
as well.
narrative. The girls are there having, it's why. What are we doing? It's really sad.
Wow, that's I will have to go and dig up a little bit about that. Now, there is a conversation that was happening by the BBC and Bill Gates on aid. I want us to listen into an audio right now, then we come and talk about it a little bit, because I understand that we cannot talk about developing Africa without mentioning how aid has really messed us up in this continent as well. So let's listen into what Bill Gates had to say, and we come back and discuss.
Bank president, he said, and I paraphrase, that Africa's development will not come from aid. It will come from investment-led growth.
Well, aid as a percentage of the economy won't be gigantic, but if you believe that babies shouldn't be infected with HIV, and aid is helping you with that. If you want all the world's science to help cure sickle cell disease, and that's not going to get organized except by aid that brings those scientific resources. Aid plays a unique role, and anybody who says aid versus something else, that's a silly discussion.
Wow, there you go. aid. You know, it started off with Donald Trump kind of giving the red flag on aid, and he withdrew aid from the US aid, for example, and a lot of African countries felt as if the world has come to an end, because now where do we go? What do we do? Then you've had the sentiments there of Bill Gates just weighing in on that conversation about aid. I mean, was aid even supposed to begin as before? Like, was it even supposed to be a thing? Because I honestly do not think that it helps. I think it does more damage than good.
Yeah, let's start maybe with the narrative of our daily realities here in Africa and Kenya.
Yeah.
You find that when you give someone, maybe you go to the village and you give someone just a few coins and ask and tell them, please take care of my shamba. Maybe you can even start planting and everything. You are not paying them. You're giving them a token. And that token is sort of aid. Because, I mean, if you're to pay them, you're supposed to pay them the value of whatever they are producing or taking care of your properties in the rural or even here. So the same analogy I'll use to maybe make us understand aid. Aid is a scam. The biggest scam that has ever happened in this continent.
Right.
It actually needs to have its own case at the ICJ. Because when you look at what aid is doing, it is hiding something. Because, you know, we are being given aid on this other hand, and we are all looking at the aid. And then there's something that is also happening on this other side, the illicit flow of cash from the continent. And how is happening is it's happening through multinational corporation, illegal mining, low taxes on our minerals, and also us being producers of horticultural crops instead of farming for ourselves. Because on this other side, we've already been put in a mindset whereby we need aid.
Right.
Aid is the only thing that is going to save this continent. That is a scam. That is how you actually control a people. You control their mind. And I will echo the words of Steve Biko. The most potent weapon the oppressor can actually have and enjoy is the mind of the oppressed.
Yes.
And aid has turned our minds into just believing we cannot produce, we cannot create. Everything is just about aid. And also another crazy fact that we are also understanding as researchers is aid has turned our best brains into beggars in suits. You wear a suit and your work is going to the office to look for aid. It has turned our grassroots communities into also beggars. You find that so many community development agencies are cropping up, but when you look at them, what is their fundamental baseline in preventing underdevelopment? There's nothing. So it's like it's a top down. Aid has been created by the multinational corporations to show us that, oh, you need aid. But in the other side, they're stealing from us. A research that was done by so many of African scholars, it shows that from 1980 to 2018, the amount of capital that was getting out of the continent and the amount of aid that we have and the loans that we have in this continent is not the same. What is getting out was 10 times more than what we are receiving as a continent. And that makes us ask, what is going on? And we need to ask what is going on, and we can only heal what we understand. That's why we are trying to call for people to understand what's going on. Don't just think about your daily bread. Think, why am I not getting satisfied by my daily bread? Don't think going abroad is the only solution. People there have degrees, have PhDs, but they're doing manual work. Why are we accepting a division of labor that is making us to become the most humiliated race in the world. Currently, that is the reality. Research shows a black person is the most humiliated when it comes to division of labor. They don't care if you've gone to school or not. And now we need to start asking those questions. You need to start having that critical mindset. I know our system taught us rote learning, memorizing, being passive, but now we need to change and accept and develop as critical thinkers. YouTube is a very good university. You can go there, learn how do I critically see, learn how do I become a philosopher. We've not been taught philosophy in our schools because they want to make you believe a philosopher is just someone who's genius. No, everybody must have that philosophical lens. You don't say, actually, I want, currently when you meet a lot of young Kenyans, everybody wants to go abroad, and it cuts across all African countries. They forget these countries that they want to go to are closing their borders. Look at what Trump is doing, even to high education like Harvard. Look at what the new Prime Minister of UK has proposed. Actually not proposed, it's actually in law. About immigration. Now, as a master's student, when you're going to UK,
Western countries,
you cannot go with your family. So you have to leave your family behind, go alone.
That doesn't make sense.
And they're closing their doors more and more and more. And we, 1.5 billion people, we all want to go there. Go there, where? Where? I'm asking where, to do what? Some of us, we came back because we saw that is not the reality that we want to live in. I don't want to do caregiving.
It was overhyped,
job. Everything is overhyped. But the best thing to do is go get their education, because their education will teach you how to critically analyze things, how to understand what is good governance, how to see, because right now I don't see African leaders as people who don't have the best interest. I see them as people who've been captured in a system whereby they're afraid to counter the system because they've seen what is happening. They've seen what happened to previous Pan-African leaders. And that is so scary to them. So when you understand research, you will understand what's going on, what is ailing the continent. And united, we will now go after what we want, because we all want to self-actualize. You will not self-actualize in the West. That is the reality.
That's just the reality.
That is the reality. The only thing that is favoring them is the exchange rate. Who decides the exchange rate is going to be this great? Who decides Africa should be a subordinate attender in the international financial system? It is the Western countries, the same Western countries that are telling us Africa is rising. Africa has been rising. It's been recorded. Ali Mazrui in 1980 recorded that. But then again, he looked at the conditions of this rising. So if we don't wake up now, if we don't understand what's going on, we will be left, by the time we are even trying to wake up, fifth industrial revolution will be happening.
And so without us.
Without us.
My God.
Still stuck in first industrial revolution.
Well, that can't happen. Let's talk a little bit about Traore Ibrahim, the president of Burkina Faso. He has a lot of critics. Some people don't get what he's doing. Others are celebrating him. What does he represent for the moment that we are in currently, which I understand is kind of like Africa taking back her power, Africa figuring out what her place is in terms of development vis-a-vis what the West did, because again, we have to keep talking about the impacts of coloniality and what the residues of that might portend for the continent of Africa. But what does Ibrahim Traore represent right now?
I am going to speak from the truth, from research, because research has already been conducted. African people who are Pan-Africanist have already gone to Burkina Faso and they've seen what Traore is doing. When you look at one of the greatest African travel blogger, Wode Maya, he went to Burkina Faso. He gave us first-hand information about what's going on. You know, Burkina Faso has their own fleets of vehicles. They're named Sahel.
Hey.
And when
Their own
Sahel, 0 mileage. But here in Kenya, we brag, we are rising.
German.
But we are all getting second-hand clothes with second-hand cars. Everything is second-hand.
Yeah.
And if it's new, it is 4th or 5th quality in the manufacturing industry because we've decided to become a dumping site. But Traore decided, no, I've been here. I have seen everything that the West has done to our country, our continent, and without fear or favor, he decided to rise up. Maybe the way he got to his presidency is questionable, but who decides what happens to Africa?
Right.
As long as someone is not killing you, as long as someone is there to ensure development, we should look at their performance indexes, not what the West believes this is what is happening. And with that, I want to ask Africans, do your research. Do your research. Understand who is Traore and what is he doing and why is he doing that? Where does he stand in this narrative? Because I've been trying to track most of these critical websites, and you find that most of them were created recently.
Okay.
And they are quoting other critical websites that were created. So the beauty about research is you go step by step, trying to understand the source. And then you realize there's synchronicity. These are just maybe Western initiatives, Western narratives about Africa. Because,
counter narratives,
because when Africa grows, when Africa understands who they are, what they're made of, we will start channeling our raw materials into finished products. Because we currently don't own any refineries in terms of, look at Nigeria. Nigeria is a producer of oil, but it exports crude oil. Another thing is, talking about Ibrahim Traore, as a researcher, as an analyst, I read between the line.
Yeah.
The other time, I think it was either March or April, I can't really remember well, the president of Ghana went to Burkina Faso. And when you listen to his speech, it's like a rallying call. It's like the tum-tum drums of West Africa, calling upon all African presidents, all African people to come and support Traore. Because if we don't support him, he will be decomposed. He will be gone.
I mean, it has happened before.
We've seen it. And
in Burkina Faso.
We've seen it in Burkina Faso. We've seen it in
Gaddafi.
Yeah. Why do we want... And the funny thing is, they always come and tell us the stories. They come and tell us...
Again,
we've seen that CIA has been very critical in ensuring that everybody who is Pan-African is decomposed. We are seeing that narrative coming with the African US guy in the military calling, is called Michael Langley. He said something, and I feel like that we need to analyze and critically understand what he says. He said this when he was having an interview with Yvonne Okwara. He said, Africa should not militarize. Who decides that?
Who gets to say?
Who gets to decide we are not supposed to also have a power to protect ourselves? And you cannot... when you read the history of colonization, the slave Atlantic
the
trade,
transatlantic trade,
you will come to realize it's because we never had the gunpowders. And so it was easy for them to... You cannot fight a gun with a machete.
No.
A gun is a jiff. You will be gone.
Like that.
But machete, you have to be very categorical. You have to be close to that person. But the way you fight someone, it depends. Now it's like a protection. So if as Africans we are not allowed to protect ourselves, and Ali Mazrui mentioned that in his African conditionality, he said we are not protecting ourselves. Why are we not protecting ourselves while the rest of the world is protecting, while the rest of the world is developing the most sophisticated nuclear weapons in their homesteads? But when as Africans we decide to do that, they say we are becoming rogue, we are becoming radical. Who defines these words for us?
Yes.
We need to start thinking critically, because no angel is coming to save us.
Absolutely
Actually,
no one.
that angel we think that is coming to save us is extracting and exploiting us. And it's big time to start having the conversation, and the masses should know what is going on. Because if you don't know what's going on, you will find yourself perpetuating or enabling a system that extracts from you. And you will keep on wondering, what is happening to my milk? What is happening to my job? A lot of Gen Zs, we saw last year, they want equity. They want economic freedom. They want to actualize. But how do you actualize in a land, in a continent that is the cradle of mankind, but everything else is Eurocentric?
Right.
Critical, everything is Eurocentric.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, no, you bring up very important sentiments here. And I'm even thinking about the, what we have just come out. I'm not sure we've come out of it, but we're still kind of thinking about we're still dealing with it, right? The East African community, we just saw the clampdown, like how can 3 East African communities come together, conspire to clamp down on democratic progress, right? And the reason why I bring up this conversation right now is because the economical, if we are to talk about development of Africa as a bloc, it has to be in unity.
Yeah.
It has to be, there has to be unity of purpose. So when you look at what just happened with the clampdown of democratic progress, and I did say that the economic is the political.
Yeah.
Looking at the parallels between the political class and what they did to, for example, the Boniface Mwangi and Atuhaire. As an East African community, first of all, we've not even had any communication whatsoever as to what that might portend. But to even draw from that political lens, are we shooting ourselves in the foot here? Do we think we have systems that are supposed to protect us, that are supposed to bring us together, to bring our heads together so that we can move as a bloc? I mean, really, this was quite a blow for whatever it might mean for the oneness and the progression of the African community, the East African community. So yeah, when you looked at this, and also the social media wars between Kenya and Tanzania, there's a lot to be said about the economical being the political and the political being the economical. Kindly contextualize for us what we are doing, because I think we've lost it there.
I think we need to heal. We need to heal, and we need to start apologizing to each other in this continent. Because I will still go back to 1884, 1885. And the reason why I'm emphasizing on that, it's because it is still relevant today. Instead of us cooperating, instead of us thinking, what is Tanzania doing, or what Tanzanians thinking, what is Kenyan doing to ensure that we forge an economic bloc that actually works for its people?
We are fighting.
We are in competition.
Yeah.
When you look at our regional bloc, and then you go and try to compare it with modern organized regional bloc like the AU, those people don't fight amongst themselves. And we don't see, and even if they fight, because during the Brexit, there were a lot of injustices that were propounded during that period, but we never got to hear it. When an African country fights with another African country, it becomes global. Because they want to show a certain narrative. These people can never unite. Look at what they are doing to each other.
Yes.
The good thing that the Tanzanian side would have done is they would have allowed these activists to be there, but they should have given them a condition, a little condition. This is how we do things in our country. We don't shout. We dialogue. Come dialogue with us. But because we have to feed to a system that was designed to have us clash amongst each other, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Instead of us understanding how is the music of Tanzania making it to the continental stage and also global, and yet it's using Swahili, we are here just calling each other names online. And you wonder, do these people see beyond this? Because when you're in chaos, you cannot be centered, and you cannot think critically, and you cannot even think development. Because you wake up thinking, I need to go and fight Tanzania. I need to go and fight Kenya. I need to go and fight Uganda. I don't care what's happening in Congo. I don't care. I don't understand what Rwanda is doing. And that disunity is what is creating all this chaos. We need to do exchange programs. In the West, they do a lot of exchange programs. We need to have our university students go to their universities for a month just to pick something. That is how Pan-Africanism can be built. That's how an economic bloc like the East African community can thrive, because you will understand these people, and this is how they live, this is how they think, this is how they perceive themselves in this continent. Because I have not met anyone who hates the continent, but everyone that I met, they hate how the continent is being managed.
Right.
And we need to start being good managers in the continent. We need to start understanding that we ourselves are the only ones who can heal and cure what is happening. We need to have dialogue, and we need to have very intense, truthful dialogues about what is going on, what has been happening, and we need to also understand that we need history to be part of this dialogue.
Yeah.
Look at our media world. Look at the film industry. It has given us the stories of the Vikings. It's given us the Jews, genocide. It's given us a lot of things. We know Hitler.
Right.
Every African knows Hitler is the most dangerous person.
Yeah.
But people don't. He killed a million plus.
Yeah.
People don't know. King Leopard of Belgium is the most and the worst. He's not even on that list. He killed more than 20 million Congolese. No one talks about that.
And amputated their arms and legs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another thing we need to start understanding is the Atlantic slave trade. There were more than 12,000 ships.
Yeah.
We only know about the Titanic.
Yeah.
And I don't know which ship and which ship.
Yeah.
Do we know about those boats?
Yeah, we don't.
Because every boat had a name.
Wow. With over 12 million people.
Yes.
Who were...
Do we talk about so many millions of Africa who died
during that slave trade?
During that slave trade.
We
don't talk about them. Do we talk about what happened after the 1884-1885 scramble and partition of Africa? The colonial period. Do we talk about so many Africans who died? Do we talk about how our families were separated? You know, for us to understand these movements that are coming up, we need also to understand them from a united front.
Yes.
Feminism. What is feminism trying to fight? It's a good ideology, but let us not have our ideologies being stolen by the Western world. I have schooled in the UK. When you look at it, because I'm a very keen observer, I observe society, I learn how society works. And I remember us having a conversation with some of my classmates from the UK saying, you Africans, you black people, you are not family oriented. Every black child, he knows he comes from Birmingham. Every black child, he knows they don't have a father. They are raised by a single mom. And then you start realizing some movements, they have the good intention, but what are they doing to the family? And so I started tracing feminism. And I agree with Sylvia Tamale, who's written Decolonization and Afrofeminism. We need to do our feminism with the African values. And what are our values? Do we have any? So those are the dialogues we need to start having.
Right.
Our values. What is our strategy as an African continent? Do we even have any strategy? Or we just waiting to be pulled into the Western narrative? Oh, an angel is coming to save us. Africa is rising narrative. Whose Africa is rising? Because from where I sit, I am seeing an Africa that is letting down its youthful population. I'm seeing an African that has turned millennials into a struggling lot. Have you seen how millennials are suffering in this country and continent?
And very educated.
Very educated,
Yeah.
no jobs.
No jobs,
Very
yeah.
educated, no funds. We need to also interrogate, why don't our banks fund ideas? Why don't our banks fund startups? What is happening? You saw that photo that was going viral about the funders of startup. Was there a black person there?
Absolutely not.
So this is why we need to ask questions. This is why we need to bring back our critical analysis, our critical thinking, because it's the only way we can be able to understand. And we can never solve. When you go to the hospital, they ask you, what are you feeling? Are you okay? What exactly, what brought you to the hospital? For us, we are just talking, but we don't understand what is ailing this continent. And once we understand what is ailing this continent, we will be very keen when we are signing any deal. Now, currently, Trump has said the only way to work with Africa is through trade. In that trade, in their panel, in their policy paper on trade, what is it in for Africans? That is how we're supposed to do. Because I believe when you go to work, when you wake up, when you go to education, to school to get educated, you always ask, what is it in for you? When you get motivated to do anything, to even do content creation, what is your motivation? So we need to understand what motivates the Western world to have their plans in us. IMF is all over our finances, our finance bill in all African countries. We are currently at 68% debt in relation to GDP. When will we develop? Where will the development money come from? I'm trying to analyze and understand an article I saw, I think, in one of the dailies, saying that we are going to be fined 6 billion because we never used our loan. So it's still something that I'm trying to understand, the philosophical narration behind it. And still, I am very sure it will go back to trace how the Western world is extracting from us. They're extracting from us our education. They're extracting from us our natural resources. They're extracting from us and exploiting us even in the division of labor. And they're killing our brains. And when they give you an opportunity, because you're a bright student, what they're doing is they're using your knowledge to help them excel their economies, their creative world, their anything that they're just doing to ensure that their citizens actualize. And it's really, really, really sad.
The whole system is rigged, guys. We can't talk about decolonizing the mind without talking about Ngugi wa Thiong'o, for example. And, may his soul rest in peace. He just passed on. I wonder what you make of his contribution to even this discussion that we are having. I hear you talking a lot about narratives and why we need to also focus and create and build on our own Afrocentric narratives, even as we continue to pursue African development. So you can tell us a little bit about what Ngugi wa Thiong'o meant for our generation, and what can we do to empower ourselves to build our own Afrocentric narratives.
The story of Ngugi wa Thiong'o reminds me of me. A tale of two Wavinyas. Initially, before I started understanding what critical thinking is, I used to wonder, why does Ngugi wa Thiong'o not want us to converse in a language that will enable us to work in the international system? Because, the world was said it's becoming a global village, and I didn't understand what he was saying. It is until I started now critically analyzing and being equipped to the philosophical tools of understanding anything or anyone that is trying to call Africans to stand together. And Currently, I stand to say we let down Ngugi wa Thiong'o. We never had him. He was one of the greatest, I'll say, in a biblical sense, a prophet to us, because he saw all these things. He saw what was happening. Because remember, he went abroad to study, and he understood how to critically think. And that is something that has been taken away from our education system. We don't critically analyze. We are not philosophers in anything that we're trying to understand. So Ngugi understood how language can be used to erase your memory. When you think, you struggle to think between your native language and then the Swahili and then the colonial language. You get really conflicted about it. And with that, it takes time for you to actually understand. And neuroscientists are coming to show us the power of the mind. So what are you feeding your mind? For the longest time, some were born in a system where the colonial stand was the giant story of the continent, that you need to have English. That's why we're conversing in English. But how can we now understand Ngugi wa Thiong'o's perspective about the current African story? Ngugi wa Thiong'o saw through a critical lens that once a people start taking away their language, it means that they are erasing their stories. And let's look at the world right now. Countries like France, which language do they speak most?
French.
Even when they go to the multinational corporation,
global stages,
they use that. The same with Spain, the same with Russia, the same with Chinese, the same with Americans, the same German. All those countries, the Dutch, everybody, all those countries, they speak their native languages, yet they are white people. Africa, we have the Anglophones, we have the Francophones, we have the Lusophones, and now we are going to have the Sinophones.
Yes, it's coming,
here.
It's happening.
Look at all our
children are being taught Mandarin.
Because language is a very powerful tool to colonize. From a neurological sense, language you start thinking as those people, but then again, those people also show you, this is where you get to. This is the level that you get to with your Mandarin, with your English. There's some glass ceilings you'll never break as much as you want to actualize. If you want to be a CEO in a multinational corporation, there's some levels you will never pass. Because all they see is a skilled labor, but it is up until this level that we will allow them to go. Because the higher you go, the more informed you get. And if you have an Pan-African lens, you will see the bullshit from afar. But if you are wearing your begging suit, you will not see it. And that's why we have people who've not seen it. But a lot of people have been able to see it because the West brings the critical aspect. So once you go west and then you come east, you will always see things in all the colors. There's nothing called white and black. What is that? White, gray area. What is gray? When you think about gray, it already you feel clouded. We need to start saying blue, red, yellow. Everything is colored
and clear.
Because that is what we need to say. But every time we keep on saying white and black, the things that come to our minds is white God, white savior, white money, white identity, white supremacist. And then you think about black, it's inferior. Black money, it's very illegal.
Black tax.
Everything black. Black angel is it's very problematic. So, and you're an African. What does that do to you? See everything in color. Which color? I have never seen a white person, actually. Have you ever seen a white person?
I have never seen.
Because white is what? Power radio? That is white. That is white. I've never seen a person like that. So we need to start now critically. I'll keep on saying, and this is the message that I want to give all African.
Right.
Every black child be critical. See things beyond this. You've been given papers. See things beyond what is on top of it. Go deep. Understand what does it mean for me and for my people. Not for you alone, because if you see it for yourself, it means that you're enabling a system that is underdeveloping us. It means that we are trying to end a system that does not work for us, but you want to be alone. What happens to the 1.5 billion people you left behind? These countries will not accommodate all of us. That is what we need to do. And then let's stop looking for an angel. That narrative of an angel,
One is coming to save you.
Whatever people are saying about Kenya, Kenya is a swing state. We should unite with the rest of Africans. Let's get out of this narrative. We are going to be superpower, because we are also enabling a system that wants to make us feel like we're the hegemons, yet they're hiding behind extracting, taking the minerals, taking the resources, extracting even our people to go and do manual labor.
Seriously.
What is that? What are we doing to our people?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
So if you are to leave us with a charge, because, oh my God, we are out of time. We only have like 1 minute remaining. Where do we go from here? What's your clarion call to young people mostly? Because this, the continent, we are the future of this continent. Yeah. Where do we go? How do we empower ourselves?
We need to start empowering ourselves, as you've said, and we need to stop looking at now. We need to look at the future. We need to have strategic plans. We need to have policy papers. We need to have development that actually is Pan-African centered. And we need also to tell ourselves and affirm this daily. Let us be the ancestors our descendants will be proud of, because they will say they actually changed the economic situation in the continent. Like the way the people like Kwame Nkrumah tried with the effort of other Africans to ensure that we get flag independence. Now we are beyond the flag independence. Let us ask ourselves what's going on. Why are we economically sabotaged? Why are we the subordinate? Why are we assuming the subordinate position in the international financial system? Why are we practicing hostage diplomacy? Because the diplomacy that we are having, it's not diplomacy. That is actually, we're being perpetuated in narratives that don't even speak African. Diplomacy is all about ensuring your people get fair share in the international economic market. And if they tell you, market has invisible hands. Adam Smith was telling us about invisible hands. Let's interrogate what invisible hand is, because those invisible hands are the ones that are extracting from the continent. They're exploiting from the continent. Those invisible hands are the ones that are making Africa not self-actualize, because they're hiding everything behind papers. Africans read. Because they said everything is hidden inside the books. If you want to hide anything from an Africa, do it in a book. And they actually succeeded with that, because every critical thinkers like Salebo, Kandawiri, Mazrui, Anyang Nyong'o, it's very hard to find their books in our school libraries. It's either you buy them, and when you go to buy them, some of them, they have crazy quotation. You find a book that is 15,000.
Wow.
Who will buy a book worth 15,000 and that is what they earn as a salary? So we need to start asking for knowledge, and knowledge should stop being commodified, because once we commodify knowledge, it means we will not be able to get out of this system that is underdeveloping us. And the only way to do it is reading. And those who have the knowledge, let's be real. Let's talk. Let's unite. Let's tell the world what's happening. In your workspaces, you've seen what's happening. In your multinational alignments, you've seen what's happening. Let's converse.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wavinya, please, you need to come again and again, because I always feel like 1 hour is never enough. you say one thing, I want to ask another follow-up question. We keep unpacking. Yeah, please come again and again and again, because of course this is an ongoing conversation. We will continue having this conversation until I don't know who said this, but until all of us are free, no one is free.
No one is free.
Yeah,
true.
no one is free. So thank you so much for
Thank you.
rendering your voice, your time, your resources to this conversation. It has to happen, and thank you for being passionate about it, man. Someone has to do it.
Yeah, someone has to do it.
It gets crazy sometimes, but you keep pushing beyond the button, and so I just want to say thank you so much, and we hope to see you soon again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Yeah.
I've learned so much. I keep learning so much, and guys, that has been our time with Wavinya. There we were looking at Southwest Corporation. What's in it for African development? Not to worry if you have missed out on the conversation. You can still go to our YouTube channel, Pawa Radio, PAWA Radio, and still find that conversation as well. Educate yourself. You've had the clarion call is that we need to empower ourselves with education, with information, research, and she's given us a wealth of some sources that we can go and educate ourselves on what needs to happen if we are to pull our resources and our efforts together to ensure that the development of the African continent is happening, is actualized, is realized without leaving anyone behind on that. And that brings us to the end of our conversation this morning. Thank you so much for everybody who was able to tune in. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I will see you next time. But before I let you go, let me tell you where you need to be. From 11 a.m. all the way till 1 in the p.m., Miss Caroline Murote comes in with Shiversations show for all things women. And then later on, our dynamic duo of Elijah Mose alongside DJ CJ Kenya come in with Gift of Gab for everything that you need to know about hip-hop and what has been happening in the world of hip-hop. Join them from 4 to 6 p.m. only on Power Radio. From me, it's goodbye. See you next time.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. Na baraka zinashuka. Baraka zinashuka.
Itisha pata 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 pata. Itisha pata 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 pata. Itisha pata 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 pata. Itisha pata 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 pata.
Blessing me faster, wako hakuna matata. Blessing me faster, wako hakuna matata. Huku na huku na huku na huku, wako hakuna matata. Huku na huku na huku na huku, wako hakuna matata. When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. Na baraka zinashuka. Baraka zinashuka.
Niko fresh and clean. Niko fresh and clean. Niko na more flavor, more flavor, more cheddar.
Marriage works manze come through.
Na watoi warembo so true.
Sina madeni mfuko imejaa.
Sai tuna live dream tuliota.
Amenipa mengi mengi. Amefanya mengi mengi. Murembo wangu minji minji. Murembo wangu minji minji. nasema amenipa mengi mengi, amefanya mengi mengi. Murembo wangu minji minji, murembo wangu minji minji.
When the praises go up, baraka zina shuka. Praise go up, baraka zina shuka. When the praises go up, baraka zina shuka. Praise go up, baraka zina shuka. Na baraka zina shuka. Baraka zina
nilifunga kwa siri akani bless yo siri yendo mzimba zenga na ngamdu na zoza hapa deva wezi bonga
mimi na mimi na mimi na mimi nae baraka zangu mimi na mimi na mimi na mimi nae baraka zangu mimi na mimi na mimi na mimi nae baraka zangu faster, wako hakuna matata. Blessing me faster, wako hakuna matata. Huku na huku na huku na huku, wako hakuna matata. Nasema huku na huku na huku na huku, wako hakuna matata. When the praises go up, baraka zina shuka. Praise go up, baraka zina shuka. When the praises go up, baraka zina shuka. Praise go up, baraka zina shuka. Na baraka zina shuka. Baraka zina shuka.